We have team coverage on the school finance issue tonight. Amy Hawley has reaction from Blue Valley School District, but we begin with Chris Hernandez live in Wyandotte County.
Yeah, so everyone's talking about this new plan that would shift some of the revenue from the richer districts to the poorer districts. But here in Kansas City, Kansas, they're not happy about that. They say that really only affects a supplemental fund that will not make up for the other changes that will end up hurting students here.
It takes a letter or two out, okay? Very good.
Students come to Whittier Elementary. 16 different languages. School officials say it costs more to educate students who speak English as a second language or who live in poverty. KCK has growing populations of both, but the new state formula would no longer give extra revenue to help teach those kids.
They're disconnecting the relationship between school funding and what it costs to educate kids. It's frustrating because you always hope until hope is gone that they'll do the right thing, and they'll do the right thing for all students in the state of Kansas.
The new formula also removes the cap on local option budgets. That means a district can raise its own taxes to bring in extra money. That won't help KCK. It already has a high tax rate, but it brings in less money because of less property wealth. So KCK says it loses teachers who jump to higher paying jobs in the suburbs.
We compete for teachers. If we can't afford to pay our teachers at the same rate that they do, we will lose all of our good teachers. And that's going to mean that our kids don't get the best teachers.
Smith says all of that puts these students at a disadvantage and will widen the gap between rich and poor school districts. A spokesman David Smith says this year Kansas City, Kansas has lost 26 teachers, most of them leaving for other jobs here in the Kansas City area, some of them even leaving in the middle of their contracts even though they have to pay a penalty because they'll be getting so much more in salary at their new jobs. Reporting live in KCK, Chris Hernandez, NBC Action News.
Coverage continues with Amy Hawley, who got reaction from the Blue Valley School District. Amy?
Well, Blue Valley and Shawnee Mission school districts, both considered wealthy school districts, are very happy that the governor has proposed to lift the cap on local spending. But others say, like Chris said, it would make education unfair simply because of where a student lives. The governor today proposed allowing school boards to raise property taxes and spend that money in their own district as they want. State law caps school district property taxes after disadvantaged districts successfully sued the state in 2006. They argued limitless local option budgets were unfair. Still, some districts and parents believe if everyone is given equal base state funding, parents should have the right to raise taxes on themselves in the name of education.
It's critical for the rest of their life. I mean, you can never go back and redo their education years. They need to get as much as they can.
Anytime a school district's parents and patrons want to raise a certain level for educational support, we feel that they should be allowed to do that. At the same time, we want to make sure the rest of the state does not, fall behind.
But critics of the idea worry that wealthy districts will move far, far ahead of poorer ones in the education arena they offer. And disadvantaged districts, like Chris said, like KCK, argue that their lower property home values keep them from ever raising enough money to pay competitive salaries for good, experienced teachers. Kansas City, Kansas told me today they should expect, the state of Kansas should expect to be sued again over this LOB issue. In the newsroom, Amy Hawley, NBC Action News.
Well, at least one Kansas senator says she's encouraged by Governor Brownback's proposal. Senator Julia Lind from Johnson County says it will bring more money and control over those dollars to the individual districts.
This is big for Johnson County because we have really wanted local control, more local control over our districts than we've been able to have. And so now what this does is it lifts the lid off the local option budget. So really what that does is that's a dynamic change in how we're currently doing things.
Senator Lynn also says she's happy the plan takes out the capitalization fund. That means the plan frees up money often used to pay for facilities and puts it back in the classroom.